Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Thank you so much for coming to the webinar tonight. My name is Nicholas Bashanow. I'm one of our project managers in the IT department here, and I have the very good fortune of being able to introduce to you our brand new Chief Technology Officer, Tyler Woodcott, who's on the phone with us.
Hello, everyone. Pleasure to be here.
We're really excited to have him on board. We've got quite a lot of projects in the pipeline, as always, and we're constantly working on improvements. We're constantly working on the things that we can do better for you guys. And I think Tyler is going to help bring us to this next step. So, Tyler, do you want to just take a moment and tell us a little bit more about you, and then we can go from there?
Sure. Thanks, Nicholas. I come from a background in the direct selling industry in the IT field for about 15 or so years. My specialty really has been around launching markets, launching new projects, payment integrations, shipping integrations, and I am confident that with the team we have in place and the projects we have on our plate, we're going to really kill it and do a great job giving you guys some good tools to use for the future. And just look forward to hearing everything that you have to say, learning from you and answering questions, and hopefully we'll work on some fun projects together.
Massively fun projects. So awesome. Tyler, thank you so much for being here. We're really glad to have you along. So I wanted to reiterate that the point of this call is to give you guys an opportunity to get some really on-hand training from us as an IT department. And so going through this new platform launch has been a learning experience for a lot of people, and it's a very beneficial one. We've come a long way from where we started for sure. And as I mentioned, we're getting a whole lot more advanced in all the things that we're doing. And so with all of these new things that happen, we want to make sure that we are covering all this information with you guys. So you're able to clearly understand everything that's going on. So the point of this call very specifically is to answer your questions. So what I want to do is to encourage you to go ahead and write your questions into the Q&A section. You can feel free to put them into the chat. We might miss them there. I would prefer you go ahead and put them into the Q&A section. And then that way we can see them come through and we can answer each one of them individually. So I have maybe one or two topics that I want to cover real quickly, but that'll give you just a moment to put your questions in there and then we can go from there. So just a couple of points real quickly. First and foremost, remember some general announcements that the product of the month is available in the store now. So if you haven't picked up a tin of the CBD mints yet, go ahead and check those bad boys out. They're in there and they're very delicious. I have a 10 and I love them. The Elite Retreat has started over again. Qualifications, I think everybody had a really good time in Costa Rica. Thailand coming up, which is going to be very awesome. So remember, you need to either hit Regional Director for the first time, that's Regional Director Elite, or maintain it for 6 of the 12 months. If you're already a regional director or elite. And then also, remember we recently launched the sample program, and I just want to go ahead and highlight that real quickly just to show you exactly how it is that you can get access to that. So I'm going to share my screen here, and I'm going to just kind of walk through real quickly. We have this test account that I've been using for various things, and I'm going to show you how to pull up exactly the sample program now. So if you are logged in, you're on your back office in the dashboard, you simply just need to go to products and then choose samples. And then here you have the ability to purchase sample credits. And the reason why they're sample credits is because they are to be used in conjunction with the app that we have, the Kannaway Connect app. So the way it'll work is that you'll come and you'll purchase credits. So say I wanted to purchase 5 sample credits, well, we could do that. And then automatically you'll see after you log into your app that your app has been updated with 5 sample credits. And so then those could be used to purchase the sample packs, which then get sent out to each one of the new prospects that you have. So remember, you come in here and you check out normally like you would for any other product. That'll put 5 sample credits or however many credits into the Kannaway Connect app, and then you can use that interface to go on and send that sample off to whoever your new prospect is. And so when you're going back into your prospects, you'll be able to see, of course, whether or not the sample has been delivered. So if you're going to catch up with them and say, you know, hey, what did you think? And you can follow that timeline there. Remember, it's a 3-day sample pack. So, you know, ideally check in once to make sure that they got it, and then follow in a few days later to see if they enjoyed it and if they are ready to create another their account and order more. So love the sample program. If you haven't tried it out yet, would really, really encourage it. And a lot of good information there. So with that, I have one other topic that I want to cover real quickly. And then we'll get to all the questions which I can see are coming in already, which is fantastic. So please go ahead and continue to post those, and we'll address them here shortly. So one thing that I wanted to note is the group orders section of your back office, which still is my absolute favorite tab of the entire back office. I love this because I can consider it the source of truth for everything that's happening in our downlines and our organizations as group orders. Here we can see where the actual orders are and what's been coming in and where it's been coming in from. So we, of course, have all the ability to filter in many different ways, as we always have. We can see everything that we've got based on a time period, based on status, what channel it came in. So say we wanted to see only what was in, enrollment orders or smart ship orders. We could do that here. Same thing with ranks, commission periods, and sponsor and placement level as well. Now, remember, all of these can be used together. So if you have multiple sets of filters going on at once, you're going to filter down even more to get to a very, very specific set of information. So group orders is absolutely the best possible place that you can go to find out what's happening in your organization. Now, one thing that I want to note in particular is that when you're looking at the status section, you'll see by default 4 different statuses has come up here. And we're looking at the ones that are paid, awaiting label, shipped, or delivered. So this, in our eyes, are all of the good orders. These are the ones that have paid, that have shipped, or are in the process of being shipped, or have already been delivered. So everything that's done and final is going to appear basically right here. Now, we know, of course, that we do also have this one other status in here, which has maybe caused a little bit of confusion. So I want to outline it. There are a couple of different payment statuses in the system for orders, and one will say a payment pending. And when you see that, more often than not, unfortunately, it's more than likely a payment which has been declined. Now, there are some scenarios in which the payment would actually be pending. And in those scenarios, that would be something like an e-check order, which hasn't quite processed yet. Or if you're in the EU, let's say it's a bank wire order, which hasn't quite processed yet. So there are some which will actually be pending and may actually process, but unfortunately, most of them have probably declined. If you have any confusion as to which one is which, now typically remember, of course, our BAs will get emails when their order declines, regardless of whether it's an individual order or a smart chip order, they'll get that email. But if you'd like to determine which ones for sure have declined and which ones may still process, you can go ahead and you can use this decline payment switch down here at the bottom. So if you've got it filtered the way that you want, and you want to say, oh, I only want to see all the declined orders that have happened so far this month, I would start at the beginning of the month here, open it up to the end of the month, and then simply choose decline payments, and that'll show you exactly which ones have been declined. So one really great tip there, something that you can use to explore and to play with. And that'll hopefully give you a little bit more visibility into what's happening in your organization. So
I'll just jump in there real quick, Nicholas, if it's all right. No system is built perfect from the start, and I think that's one area where we've already heard some feedback from you and others out there that we are going to start working on a project where we get we improve the decline messages coming back from the banks and processors out there worldwide, so that when you come in here, it's a little bit more clear on the status of your order, whether it was truly declined and why it was declined, or it was a pending bank transfer or something like that that might take a few more days. So we are working on that. It will take a little bit of time. There's a lot of different banks out there that we're going to have to, one bank I might say error 5, and that might mean insufficient funds, and another bank it might say error 5, and that means the card's expired. So we're going to have to do a little bit of work on our side from the IT perspective, but we are working on that to try to make this a little bit clearer and easier for you to manage your business.
Yeah, absolutely. Great comments. And, I've had the good fortune of being able to work with this company for a few years now. And I remember what it was like working on the old system. And one thing that I continue to remind myself is that it's better than it ever has been before. And the good news is that we're working at a rapid pace to make it even better than it's ever been before, even now. So lots of improvements coming up. We've got a couple of questions coming in already, and I can see Michelle, one of her concerns was, we still continue to have difficulty with placing orders. Well, of course, the very first thing that I'd always recommend is you're having difficulty placing an order is to feel free to reach out to support. Who would be able to either talk you through the process or assist with it, whatever it is that you need. If you're having trouble, we want to make sure that we're here for you. So definitely make sure that you are able to get to those guys first and foremost. Now, she describes it as being a bit cumbersome from time to time, and we understand, when you're doing an enrollment in this type of business, we need a lot of information. We need to make sure that it's correct. There's multiple different pieces to be set up. And that's not out of the ordinary, but we have heard many comments and feedback from it. And the good news is, as Tyler mentioned, we're in the process of improving dramatically. So we have a lot of great things that will come out for enrollment flow in the near future here that will help make this a little bit easier. So I can't give you an exact timeline. I know it's going to be soon because it's high priority for us. So look for some exciting announcements coming up there. So let's see, another question from Crystal. Do you know when the information regarding product guides found in the marketing section will be updated? Yes, actually it's going to be very soon. I know I talked with our wonderful marketing department recently, and they're working on updating that information now. Remember, if you want, you always have the ability to go to a individual product and print off the information from it there. So say, for instance, if you wanted to go and share some information on the salve, no matter where it is, you can always click this product card info here, and in real time, that'll go ahead and pull all of the correct information from the system. You can print that off and you can share it. So marketing materials will, of course, be updated. If you want to grab any information on an individual product, then you can do that there. Valerie, it's good to see you. Thank you for asking. Where she is, I believe, referring to the sampling program, feature allowing the prospect to pay for shipping and handling. Unfortunately, that's not the way we have it set it up right now, but we are discussing launching perhaps another sample program that might operate through the replicated site, which would operate something quite like that. So yes, we will have something like that coming in the future, although not a set date yet. Now, another great question from Valerie, and she's got the hard-hitting ones, which is awesome. Our email downline feature, which I know is a function that we had in our previous back office and has not been available yet in this back office. And I can say with a great amount of excitement is because it's going to be a whole lot better this time. And I know that it would probably just prefer to have it out, which we're working on getting out in priority. So don't stress about that. But I can say that we're going to have some really cool additional features with that. And we will probably open up the availability of it, I think, to a few more people as well. In the past, it was limited to a smaller group of people which were able to use it. Now coming up, we'll be able to have that more available for everybody. So some really cool things. So imagine, being able to filter the same way as you always have in group orders. Previously in the old system, you could only email the downline of your BAs, or I think it was everybody, actually. You could email everybody. You couldn't choose customers or BAs. In our newer email downline functionality, you'll be able to choose exactly who it is that you want to send it to. We'll have templates and things, all kinds of like really great pieces that are going into this, and we're working furiously on getting it ready for you. Another question from Michelle, I see here. Thank you. Why can we not see certain profiles in our downline in NodeView? That's a really great question, but unfortunately, I'm not sure exactly what it is that you're referring to there. If you wouldn't mind, maybe give me a little bit more example. Tell me the type of account that it was that you weren't able to see, so we could perhaps take a look. All right, so we'll expect that update from Michelle. Until then, Jill, thank you so much for asking your question. You said, is it possible to share our replicated site with people in other countries? Yes, absolutely it is. You can share that replicated site with anybody that you want because, obviously we are a multinational company. We're growing even at a crazy alarming rate, which is fantastic for all of us. So yeah, even Jill, if you wanted to send out your replicated site to somebody in Japan, and get them enrolled, then you could certainly do that. The only difference being that when they go to actually create the account, they would simply choose their region versus yours. Now, remember, product availability will change as soon as you change the location of the account. So if you're enrolling and they choose to enroll in Japan, instead, then they'll see only their products and not our products. And I think you said, I mean, can we show the products just in Japan, for example? If you mean specifically for the replicated site, those products should be local to you as it is right now. We can explore the functionality of improving that at some point in the future to make it a little bit more multi-zonal. But until then, it's going to be just the favorite products as chosen by you for your particular zone. All right, sorry, just one moment. Michelle has responded here. I need to. You know, I hate to say it's. I can make two comments here. First, Michelle, if you wouldn't mind, please feel welcome to send that question off to me. I would have to take a look at the ID numbers. I unfortunately am unable to determine exactly what it is that you're referring to. I will say, however, optimistically though, we are looking at improvements to the node view as well, which I think should make things a little bit more easy to understand there, and functionality should be a whole lot easier too. So Michelle, I'm sorry I'm not able to answer you that question specifically. If you wouldn't mind, please go ahead and just send in a message to support@kannaway.com and just tell them that they need to redirect that to me, and I'll take a look at it for you. So. All right, cool. Thanks, Jill. Thanks, Michelle. Appreciate that. Valerie, we've got your questions answered there. All right, cool. I see a note over here from Valerie Nicholas is awesome. That one I really appreciate. Thank you. Jen, and also I see some questions coming in on the chat. If you wouldn't mind, go ahead and put them in the Q&A area. It's a little bit easier for me to organize over there. Let's see here. Just a couple of questions I think that are showing up over here. When we get emails notifying us that we have new enrollee, those are actually already going out. So if you're having any one-off problems there, I would advise that you please go ahead and send us a message. We'd love to take a look into that scenario. If it's not working for some reason, we obviously want to fix it. So JB, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and send that off again to support at Instagram, not at Instagram, sorry, I'm looking ahead to Jen's question there. Support at Kannaway.com, and we can take a look into it specifically. How can we share the product card Instagram? Fortunately, right now, there is no specific way to do that. That is a very interesting idea, however. It would be pretty cool to be able to just toss that over and then say have, you know, a replicated link site that's embedded in it that would allow you to do that. So not a current functionality, unfortunately. Jen, there's no way for you to do that right now. But I do like the idea. We can talk about doing something like that in the future. So I'll have that conversation with marketing, and we'll see exactly where we can get there. All right, so one more question from JB too. Also, you're asking about the emails notifying that a smart chip is coming out. They used to appear in advance of 5, 3, and 1 day ahead. So those are also coming soon. Objectively, you should start seeing those probably before the end of the year. But they're on the way, so if you wouldn't mind, just give us a little bit more time on those, and we'll get them taken care of. So, if you have any questions on emails, or you feel like you're not seeing anything that you're supposed to, please, obviously, of course, just shoot a note over to support at Kannaway and let us know, and we can take a look at it. So, let's see here. Debbie has a question. How do we see people on SmartShip in our downline? That's a really great question. You can actually do that now in the My Downline section. So you can simply scroll over, and here you can see the next SmartShip BV and the next SmartShip date. So if you want, you can also basically sort by this information as well. None of my test people here seem to have any of their SmartShips set up, which is unfortunate. But if you want, then yes, specifically you can go and you can come right here and you can say, oh, this person's got the next SmartShip BV and this person's got the next SmartShip date. So we can plan over the course of the month exactly how much BV we're going to be getting from each one of their SmartShips. So you know ahead of time, which is pretty nice to know, I know. One other thing that I want to point out over here, which I really like, we had this button originally over to the right side. We got this moved over to the left. So if you are operating in My Downline, you've come up with any set of filters that you've wanted to find a specific person, then you can totally do that there. And then the thing that's really, really cool, of course, if you need to see their information, you can always click on their name and you'll see all of this, as well as their order status and any pertinent information there. Here we can see this was an order that's had a payment processing failure. So it's something that we could note that's important. So if we're looking, for instance, at this person's personal volume for the month and we say, oh, it's got 0 there when we're pretty sure it should be whatever, then we can go and we can click on their name and we can say, oh, it looks to us like they tried to place an order, but it was actually declined. Now, of course, this is going to have all the rest of the sponsorship information, contact info, and all of that as well. But one thing that I really, really like is this show in node view button that we moved to be a little bit more visible here. If you click on it, it'll jump over to your node view and it'll show you exactly where they are in your tree. So here we can see. There it is. Yep. So and it'll highlight that and it'll show you where it is in the tree. So again, if you're filtering here and you want to find out exactly where this person is in the tree, you can always click on that button and it'll take you right to them. You can also, of course, filter by whether or not that person has an active SmartShip. So let's say, for instance, you wanted to find all the people who were on your first sponsorship level who are your enrollments. You taught them the right way. You said you always got to have your SmartShip set up. And you can come over here, you can say, well, how many of them don't? And then, well, based on these two pieces of filtering here, we can see, well, these are my personal enrollments that don't have a SmartShip set up. So it's time to reach out to these people and say, hey man, why don't you have your SmartShip set up? Let's get with the program. We all know what we're doing here. So back to the original question, if we want to be able to see who's on SmartShip and what their BV is, we can again do that in my downline in this column that's just over here to the right for next SmartShip BV and next SmartShip date. All right, so let's go. We got a few more questions here. If for any reason you would like to cancel your accounts, remember that's just a quick call over to customer support and say, hey, unfortunately I've got this going on and I'd like to be able to cancel my account, and they can take care of that for you. So it's either via email at support@kannaway.com or 858-300-5144. So if you need that, the availability is there. So some recommendations for the Connect app. Thank you, Andre. We can pass those on to those guys. That's a separate developer for us, and we work closely with them to try and provide what it is that you're looking for. So appreciate every bit of feedback on the app, but we will pass them off to those guys. Jacqueline, again, hi, it's always good to hear from you. With this, how do you view your team / the tree with the new website? So again, this would go back to the combination of my downline / the node view. So, the node view is probably one of the best ways that you can go and search and see where things are. And I want to teach you a trick to help you use it quickly and efficiently. Sometimes we come in here and it's like, I've got to open all this up by clicking and expanding on each section. Well, I don't want to mess around with that. I'd rather just know, exactly where it is this person is. So let's say, for instance, you're looking for someone in particular and you came to your node view. We'll pretend like you didn't open any of this up, right? And you know the name of the person or you know the ID number of the person. So let's say, for instance, I know the ID number of the person here. This is who I want. I can go ahead and I can search that, and then should be pretty quick, but just like that, it'll take you to exactly where the person is in your structure. So here we can see it's highlighted. So it jumped from where we were to that point in the structure. So that's one of my favorite ways to navigate this very quickly and easily, is to just go to the person it is that you're trying to find the information out by searching for their name or entering their ID number, and that'll jump you right to them. So for those of you that have very large organizations, which is a great problem to have, if you simply just search for the name of the person that you're trying to find, it'll take you right to where they are inside of their organization. So that is one really easy way to do this. And then I also want to point out one other thing as well. There are a couple of different ways to review a previous month's set of volume. So we have these three icons down here at the bottom, which reveals basically a little bit different information in each. So if you were to open up the profile, this would give us our same basic, simple profile information. So if we wanted to view it there, we could do that pretty easily. But then also the stats section is very helpful down here too. And so what this does is show us, for that person, for the selected period, the personal volume, the group volume, and the elite volume, as well as their ranks. So we can see here for the month of November, this is what we've got going on in the VA that is test structure. If we wanted to check it for a particular month, we could simply open up the drop down. Let's say, for instance, we want to know what was happening in August. Well, probably that person wasn't enrolled in August, so that's why that's not showing anything. If we wanted, we could do the previous month very easily. We know that they were enrolled there. Now, that's on an individual basis. So when you're looking at each one of those, you're going to see the previous month's information for each individual person that you look at. If you wanted to see it globally for everybody, then you need to come up here to the top. And what this will do is allow you to pick a certain period. So say, for instance, we only wanted to see what was happening for everyone from last month. We could choose that, and that would show us correctly the volume from every person in the structure from the previous month. So when you're working with the node view, you can use these two things to kind of help yourself along the way. And then the one last tip that I'll offer you on this, Jacqueline, is if you want to get it nice, big and open, then you can simply click that button up there in the corner, which will expand it and allow you to see a little bit more at once. So you want, again, that toggle is just right there. So Jacqueline, thank you so much. A great question. Together the node view plus my downline should be able to answer all the questions it is that you're looking for. So if you have any more specific questions, please, of course, feel free to reach out to me, or you can post them in the Q&A here. So Jill, you also asked, will there be a live chat again? We still have it currently now. It's actually here. Now, just to let you know, this is based on our chat agent availability. So if those hours are different than the hours that you are trying to log on to have a live chat, you may not get an agent because perhaps they're just not in the office. And in that scenario, you have the ability to put your information in here, and then you can submit a ticket to our help desk, and we'll be able to answer you from there. So live chat availability is not gone. It's definitely still there. It just depends on agent availability. So if they're not on, then sorry, we'll try and catch up soon. You can leave us a message and we'll reach out to you, the next business day or whenever. So sorry, give me just one moment here. Let me catch up on one of these other questions. So Patty, thank you so much for your question. It looks like that's more of a one-off scenario. I would again ask that you probably please go ahead and send that off to support so we can double check into it for you. But there is one really great point here that you're making that I kind of want to call attention to. We have the ability now in the system to set up multiple payment methods, and then also to set up multiple smart chips too. And that's both a blessing and a curse, because we have to be a little bit more vigilant about which payment methods are assigned to which smart chips, because you could potentially have one assigned to one and one assigned to the other. And if they're not quite matched, then you're going to have an issue processing your smart chips. So, again, we have the wonderful ability of being able to have multiple payment methods in here. This is a new process. Here's some of the cards that I've used to test with. So we've got 3 different valid cards in here that we could use. Now, when we go to set up a smart chip, we're going to want to double check and make sure that it's set up correctly. So here we've got one that's set up for the 9th of this month. We've got all of our information in here. All right, that all makes sense. On the next screen, we'll choose our products. We'll see what this one's set up for. I can't remember. Adding sample credits in is a good idea if you want to. We got a SAV and a premium smart chip. Okay, that sounds great. I like all those products. We'll go ahead and continue on with those. But then now here's the important part. So remember, I've got 3 different payment types that I added in here, all of which are valid. So I'm going to want to make sure that I'm selecting the one that I want it to charge. And if for any reason, they're disconnected, you may have a hard time getting that payment processed. So something really, really important to members. So currently, as it is, updating a payment method does not necessarily update the payment method in your smart chips. So you're going to want to go and double check to make sure that it's correct in there. Otherwise, you might end up having a problem. So now we are working on some user experience type things that will basically prompt you to update one or the other, or update the other if you've updated one. We haven't had those released yet, so but we are working on that. Should make it a little bit simpler. But in the meantime, the most important message here is to just double check to make sure that your smart chip setup is going to go ahead and match whatever you want your current payment information to be. So whatever this is, we want to make sure that it's associated with the right payment type. So if you have any problems with processing Smartship, that may be a good place to start. Of course, if you still can't get it to go, then you're going to want to maybe reach out to support and get our help there. We got a great question from Sana. Is that how you pronounce it? I'm not sure, but she's asking about 3 for free. So good news. Good news on 3 for free is that we have some updates that are coming out pretty soon, which are going to allow, again, preferred customers to re-enroll preferred customers, which is awesome. That'll give everybody the ability to, again, take advantage of the 3 for free program. If you are wondering what your current 3 for free volume is, remember you'll try and want to utilize the customer orders section for this. And of course, my test account here has been a little bit of a slacker and hasn't enrolled anything in the last couple of months. And of course, we don't obviously have anything here as well either. So, but that's okay. I can explain it to you at least in concepts. What you'll want to do, and of course, you can do this in customer orders. You can also do this in group orders. But you're going to want to look at it like this, where basically the combination of each person's each customer's volume for that current month is going to count as one person out of the 3 total for 3 for free. So again, to reiterate, you got 3 customers. The average amount of their volume is going to be what you're going to get for free in the following month. Now, remember, there is another requirement that is often overlooked, that your personal Smartship in the month that you're earning it, that means in the same month that your 3 customers are purchasing their product, your personal Smartship also has to be set up for at least 28 BV. So that has to be a paid Smartship of 28 BV of your own. And then you have to have 3 customers, get both of those things done inside of a month. And then on the following month, the average of those 3 customer orders, you're going to receive in free product. Now, remember, there's 2 ways that you can redeem that. The first is to check out normally through the shop. When you get to the bottom of the cart section, you'll see right away where it says your 3 for free balance is so much, and it'll come right off the total order amount. Now, remember, exactly as it was in the old system, there's no accrual here. It doesn't roll over. So if you elect to use that amount on that order, but you don't use the entire amount, well, I would suggest you probably add more next time, because it's not going to roll over. You're not going to have a 3 for free balance. It doesn't work like that. It works exactly the same way that it did in the old system. So our suggestion is to set it up for as much as or more than the 3 for free balance for what it's worth. So that's the best thing that you could probably do for 3 for free. So let's recap. We'll go back one more time. I'm trying to earn 3 for free for the next month. So in this month, I have myself set up 28 BV personally paid Smartship order. I also have 3 customers, which of any type. They could be preferred customers or customers, all of which ordered and have paid orders. And now in the next month, I'm going to get the average of their purchase amount on my order. Now, we made one update to this recently, which I think is fantastic. It's giving you the ability to earn more and more and more. If you have, let's say, 6 different customers this time, well, you're going to get the reward of the average of the first 3 customers and the average of the second 3 customers. Now, you may be wondering, well, how is it do you determine which ones are the first 3 and which ones are the second 3? Well, it's pretty easy. It's by total volume. Whichever one is the highest gets listed as the first 3. So it would be highest customer total volume, 3rd highest customer total volume, and those are your first 3. Then you've got your 4th highest customer total volume, your 5th highest, and your 6th highest. So basically, it would be the average of these first 3 and then the average of these second 3. So you're getting 2 different rewards. You got 9 different customers, 3 different 3 for free rewards. 12 different customers, let it roll. 15 customers, got it, no problem. 17 customers, not quite there yet. You got to get 1 more. So that's kind of the way that it works out, which is really a fantastic update, which has allowed us to earn even more and more and more in free product, which is why we're all here, because we love it so much. So that's a really, really great program. If you again, you want to check and you want to find out exactly how much you've got to earn, I would suggest going to customer orders, looking for the previous month. So say I'm trying to find out for this month in November how much I get. Well, I'm going to go to to October, and I'm going to look at my customer orders. Looks like I'm currently not qualified for any 3 for free, which is a bummer. So I'm going to get out there and get to work and try and get some more of those customer orders in. So great question. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Sue, great question there. How do you search by state? Unfortunately, not currently possible in the system. Not a bad suggestion. We can take a look at it in the future. But it's not something that is available for you quite yet. But that could be a filtering thing. Maybe we go to my downline and we add in, location in there, which could be very interesting. Say you want to target a, a certain group of people in a certain place. I can see there being a lot of benefit to that. So another one of these suggestions, these nice to haves that we can definitely put in. So I really love hearing the ingenuity, and I really love hearing the feedback from all of you guys, because that helps challenge us to make the system even better and make it more applicable for you. So we want to know exactly what it is, these things that you're trying to find out about. And if that's one of those things, then we'll add on the list to scope out. So Michelle, question about if there are any plans to expand customer service hours. Yes, I think there always are. It's based on needs. So, the more calls we get, the more customer support we'll have. So unfortunately, I'm not as close with those guys as I used to be. They're just mostly reporting stuff to us, which is great. But I don't know what their plans are for expansion, unfortunately. But that again would be another great one that you can maybe just shoot off and ask if you wanted to send it to support@kannaway.com. I might be able to get that up to Justin and see if he has any idea what's going on. So Melissa, also I see that you've got the question here about PCs being able to enroll PCs for the 3 for free benefit. So it's actually going to be very, very soon. Very, 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 very soon. So barring some testing mishaps, I think everything is going very well. So we should be looking at that in the very near future. So keep an eye out for that. We'll send out some communication letting everybody know, of course. So sorry, give me just one moment here. Oh. So Yvonne, when we receive an email regarding VA Smart Chip being canceled, can we be informed whether it was canceled by the VA manually because of the card expiration date? So just to let you know, any orders that are being canceled in the system right now are being canceled manually. So if it's canceled, if it's showing canceled, that means that they would have contacted us and they asked us to cancel the order for them. So there's no payment issue there. If you're seeing something that says canceled, then that means that they contacted us and they said, yeah, we want to cancel this order. So if you see that ever, then that means then that's what happened. So I've only got one more question in here in Q&A. I have seen quite a lot of chats going off here to the left-hand side. I haven't been able to take a look at that. Tyler, it looks like you've been addressing some of those questions. Thank you so much. If you guys have something that you'd like me to address, please go ahead and throw it in the Q&A section here so I can take a look at it and we can continue on. Roger wanted me to re-mention the fact that, of course, on 3 for free, you need to have that own personally paid smart chip of 28 BV. So I think that's one that gets a lot of us. We typically forget about that. And a lot of us even typically, even if we're earning 3 for free, well, remember that's going to reduce our volume down. So say, for instance, we set up our smart chip for 110, but we also earned 120 in free volume. Well, that means that we've got 0 volume on our smart chip now. So what would we need to do to compensate for that? Well, we'd have to add another 38 in volume, basically. So our total volume amount would be 148, which means that we can take off that 120, and we're still going to have 28 left over to go ahead and be counted for this month. So awesome. So really great questions here. You guys are really giving me a workout here, which is awesome. I love it. A lot of really, really good suggestions. Lots of cool things coming up. Nancy has a question about being able to see her upline. That is a good question. If you'd like, remember, you can always view who that person is by coming to your personal profile information here. So if you want to see your sponsor's contact information, you need to reach out to them for any reason. Make sure you come to your account. And then you can see your sponsor information there as well. All right. Cool. Well, really great questions here. I'll give it just a moment to see if we get any other ones that come in. And in the meantime, I just want to give you a little teaser of some things that are coming up. So lots of good improvements to the dashboard that should be happening pretty soon. If you have any questions on how anything works, of course, we want to make sure that we can cover all of this. So make sure you're checking out these extra areas. The striking distance report is very good for a lot of different things. But yeah, get excited because we have some improvements coming to it. We also have quite a large improvement coming to 3 for free, which is going to indicate to you exactly how much volume you've got to spend right there on your dashboard. So that's going to be a pretty cool feature update that we've got coming up in the future. And lots of other things, of course. We're always working constantly, we're working diligently. And now with the addition of Tyler on our team, we have quite a lot of gas and we're ready to go. So, 2020 is going to be probably the absolute best year for our company, I'm sure, ever. So we're really looking forward to that. One more question popped in here from Kim. Where can we find information on new applicators and how they differ in the benefits of each one? That's a great question. You're going to probably want to start with going to the actual individual product itself. That'll have a more beefed up description there, and then you can use that to kind of compare against the others, as well as being able to see the ingredients. And then you can always pull up the product information page for the lab results on each of these two. So if you'd like to take a more detailed look, you can simply do that by clicking here, and that will download the COA. So, all right, fantastic questions. My goal for each one of these calls is to do this consistently. So I would love to do this every Tuesday. So if you guys are willing to hang out with me every Tuesday, we'd be happy to see you here. Generally I like to keep getting too long. I know our attention span starts to wane after a while and we lose the pieces. So we're going to go ahead and we'll start to wrap up for tonight. But the good news is that we've been recording this entire process. So all the information that we've discussed here is going to be available on our blog for tomorrow. So if you want, perhaps the following day, I'll have to double check with marketing on what the post schedule is. But if you need to refer back to this information, remember we have the recording and it will be available in our blog section there. So if you can't quite remember exactly what it was that we said, then you'll be able to go back and double check. Start thinking ahead if you'd like to now to be ready to bring your questions to this call. A lot of really hard-hitting questions here, which is fantastic. I can't always promise that I'll be able to perfectly answer every single one of them, but darn it, we're going to try. So I'm really thankful to Tyler for allowing me to be able to do this today. It's one of my biggest goals is to make sure that you guys have the information that you need and the pieces that you need in order to be successful in building your business. So we really, really want that. And getting your feedback is absolutely paramount to it. So without any further ado, Tyler, do you have any final comments you want to chime in on before we take off?
Great job, Nicholas, and thanks for everyone for taking some time out of your busy either night or afternoon. I think there's a nice mix of some training opportunities for all of you out there from Nicholas. There's some good enhancement ideas that come from this that we've been taking notes on. And just, generally it's nice to meet everybody and get to know you. But yeah, great job, Nicholas. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, everyone. We will look forward to seeing you next week at the same time in the same place. And until then, go forth and be successful. All right. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you all soon.